teamrtfc.baconicecream.com.
You guys are too much between Pete's picture and that. Oh man, so it's kind of funny, like how I'm here, and Rich is, and he should be here shortly, but yeah,
we don't know that. He should be here now, so.
I was able to jump in. People were still asleep from last night from the football game, or American football game, I should say, running late.
No, you can say football game. You don't say American football.
Oh man. So yeah, just kind of funny. But yeah, you guys, I saw that when I started the thing. That. All right, cool. Well, morning everyone. Let's see.
Yes.
So
well, actually, for a lot of people, it might not be morning.
that's right. I'm sorry. It's like 5-6 o'clock.
But you could pretend it's morning.
Dude, I'm still a little tired. I just got up like an hour ago. So all right. So we're waiting on Rich here. So how was everybody's week? Let's start with that.
Well, it's been like a pinball week because there's been a couple new pinball things coming out. So that's what I've been making videos for. So, but then I'll actually I got to go to the pinball expo later, so I'll probably be working on a video for that afterwards. So then after that, I could get back to the Evercade stuff.
What a hardship.
Yeah, what a hardship. Yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, hey, okay. I think he did decide to show up.
Oh, is he here now?
Yeah, he is. Do I need to add him, or is he?
He probably didn't think we were starting for another 10 minutes.
Hello. How's it going?
Good.
Wow, look at that face.
They wanted to start early. Yeah, no, I was just saying, as it turns out, people were still like sleeping from getting back from the football game late, so that I would bust in.
There you go.
I know, between his face and the Crow is showing up the four-eyed hamburger.
Four-eyed hamburger.
That was just too much.
The adult Happy Meal.
Yeah.
Nice. It's good times.
There'll be a new face every week.
I got enough.
Slowly breaking myself in to eventually have a camera reveal.
Okay.
Ooh,
All right.
Nice.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I'm down with
There's
this.
so many tools out there on the interwebs, right?
Yes, that is a thing.
There are so many
100%
tools out
a
there.
thing.
Oh, you mean actual software.
And in the Evercade community. Lots of tools in there.
Ooh, Masters of the Universe?
Look how big this book is.
Dude.
Are we one step
is
closer
awesome.
to seeing Pete live? You're seeing Pete live now. I actually just took that photo.
Oh, man.
It's like I took it 5 minutes ago.
That's his webcam right now.
I have the power. I have the power.
I have the power.
He has the power.
That's awesome. So how's it going, everybody?
It's going. We got
Yeah.
rain. First bit of rain in like almost 60 days. So we're excited.
Wow.
The
All right.
drought is over.
Yeah, I think we're about to get some more rain over here, so that's gonna be a wild time.
Wild time.
Are you in a different room of your house, Rich?
He's at work.
I'm at my office
Oh, okay.
because I don't have a production machine in order
Way
to
to know.
do the
Way
show.
to know a guy that you have two podcasts with. You don't even know where he works.
So
No, it's the first time I've seen his back. I was like, wait.
I've
Yeah.
seen that. I knew right away. So every
oh
time
yeah,
I'm like, oh, he's at
I've
work.
done
He's sitting next to
yeah,
a window.
Yeah.
I've done whatchamacallit, Good Times Newsline flashcast from here.
I remember seeing it in front of a
many
TV.
times.
Yeah, in front of a TV, but yeah, that just looked. Maybe it's just been a while. I was like, dude,
Yeah,
that's
no,
a cool
it's
office.
yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's the
Cool.
only computer I know that had active working webcam and mic right now because I have to do meetings and stuff. But yeah, that's
The
my
other
poor,
PC
my poor laptop is not with me right now. It's over at ASUS.
You normally do it on a laptop?
Yeah, I have my
Oh.
my ASUS laptop's my full production laptop. I do all of my stuff off the laptop.
Okay.
And it's
I didn't know that.
yeah, it's good. It's an awesome machine. It's just it's got a bad NVMe port that needs to get replaced. So it's on its way. Yeah. So when I lost that 2 terabyte drive, it was the drive and the port both.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably some kind of electric shock or something like that. It's just the only thing that takes out two things at once. So yeah. So that was it. That's what's happening in my neck of the woods. So but there's some things that happened in the Evercade neck of the woods. That's for sure.
There was?
Yeah, I think
You
so.
sure?
I think so. Did we say hi to the chat yet?
No.
All right,
I was
cool.
about to, and you popped in, but I'll let you do it since you're here now.
Well, yes, welcome everybody to the Evercast, your weekly dose of Evercade goodness. This is us. We're all here. We've been talking. But let's say hi to Skeletrex, who's here. What's going on? We got Phantom Fiction in the house. We got Dan Nastic. We got Lloyd R. Jim. Jason Shires. John Scheidemann. The Dave Ray 40. Welcome. That's a new one. Douglas is here. What's going on? Snake Eater 75. What's up? Arnold's here. Rob Taylor's here. Damn Gam is here. What else we got? Oh, Ian Hobbies is here. Hello. Stevie Graphic 16. How's it going? Kid Guzzy, all the way from Florida. What's going on? Cringer is here. Nice. And Darren Chapman, what's up? What's going on? How's it going? Oh, and there it is.
So,
there it is.
all right, I need to set this one up. So just want to let you guys know, as per last time, I do listen to the community and their suggestions, and so I have a few of these, but I was able to get one of them preloaded. Yeah, Rich knows exactly. So without further ado, here it is.
I think you forgot you forgot the sound effect.
Well,
You didn't
that
snap
may-
it to the Slim Jim.
yeah,
That's
I think
true.
I'm gonna do a future, but that was kind of like my own version. I mean, listen, Randy Savage didn't wear. He wore like it was like he sometimes wore headbands, but he didn't have the gloves. But different sunglasses. But it's kind of like my version. Kind of like to be like kind of a wrestler combined. But no, that I threw together. So real quick, I laid out a bunch of different shirts and headbands like on my bed and just like recorded several of those. But yeah, no, it needs a sound effect. But I threw that together like 10 minutes ago after I had it recorded. So
Good stuff. That is good stuff.
but yeah, more to come.
So, all right, good stuff. So, it is, it is actually Macho KillDashNine.
Oh, I love
Nice.
that.
What's going on for Evercade Project and RMGB TV? What's up? So there was a little something that dropped. Two of us have already talked about it on the interwebs. That those being Pete
I
and Ed.
talked about it 3 months ago.
Yes, you sure did. We've
We've
kind of already all talked about this.
Yeah.
But it was made official. What was it, last weekend on some weird live stream thing?
It was the Amiga 37 conference
Yes.
that they did in Germany. And
Yeah.
I was just hanging out because I was looking for 500 news to modify my 500. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking about getting a real Amiga, and I'm just waiting for to get one that's like capped and all that stuff.
Nice.
But I knew about it and sat on it for almost a week because I was waiting for Evercade to announce something, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Okay, is this true?" And I've said, "Screw it." I was bored.
Yeah, I was doing the same thing because I had actually seen some like people just out in the ether just dropping this like live stream that was like a cell phone recorded thing.
Yeah.
And I heard it. I was like, well, that's official. Like the guy is from
the
the
guy's the Amiga
corporation.
500 guy, right?
Right.
That's okay.
I mean, it's like that. You can't get much more official than that. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I mean, Blaze hasn't said anything, and I was like, all right, well, it's 2 days.
You know why they didn't
still
say
not saying
anything?
anything.
You know
Well, they
what?
didn't.
Because
Maybe they don't have the cart ready, like
No,
the artwork or
because
whatever.
they're all on holidays because
Oh.
the World Cup is coming up next month. So all of England's taking their holidays now, so they don't have holidays for the World Cup.
Really?
Soccer. Yes.
Wow.
True.
That's
a
why.
fact.
That's why. Pinball
I did not know
Effects
that.
released a World Cup '94 pinball table.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew the World Cup was this year, and it was like Christmas time, but I didn't know that they were going to take holidays
November
early in order to
22nd,
do that.
Rich. Canada's in it for the first time since 1986.
That's awesome. Is the U.S. in it?
Of course, U.S. in it. They're in the
Nice.
same group as England.
Nice.
You see, most people in the U.S. will not even know.
That's true. Outside of like a select few places in my neighborhood where they'll have banners outside of their places of business, it's all like restaurants. They're like people that are big into it in my area anyway. So you
Yeah.
go down to all these restaurants, they'll have banners and flyers and all this kind of stuff. And then you talk to everyone else, just like you go to like, like supermarket or whatever. It's like,
You know
hey, you know
what?
about the World Cup? They'll be like, no.
Wouldn't it be awesome if Evercade got Pixel Cup Soccer as the
Oh,
last
man.
last indie game, and it'd be
That's
the World Cup edition that they have? They have a
oh
World Cup
man,
edition.
and put that on the original of the OG as the send off.
Wouldn't
That
that
would
be
be
awesome
all.
on the
Oh,
indie
that
Euro
would be
too?
awesome.
Because
That'd be an
Pixel Cup
incredible
Soccer is
get.
awesome game, man.
That is good. That I mean, I full disclosure, I'm not really into soccer games, but when I played Pixel Cup on the VCS, that game was
Yeah.
radical.
Dude, it's so much fun.
So
and
good.
Yeah.
Do
And you
we
can play it
really
on
need another
Android
soccer
and
game?
tons of stuff.
Yeah, very, very good.
Yeah.
Very, very good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm still reeling from the what was it, the Gremlin collection? They had 2 soccer games on it.
Yeah.
But you know
It's
what
all
though?
good.
I also saw on Discord that Sean was saying that they have a certain release cycle. So I really, when they make announcements, so I really think he didn't want to, but then his hand was forced because
Oh, they
of
were
that.
forced.
And then all-
Absolutely.
yeah.
I don't think this was a coordinated effort at all, Ed. I think you're 100%
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Because like, why would these like let this news linger in out of Germany? I mean, it's an obscure
Yeah.
conference. Let's be honest. Unless you're searching Amiga news, you're not.
Right.
Who
Yeah, that's-
searches Amiga news?
That's true. That
Yeah.
is very true. There's few and far between, I think, that we're actually looking at this, but the news did break because they, of course, you mentioned Evercade. It starts spreading.
Yeah.
So, but it's official. It's up on the blog, and you know what? Let's take a look at that now. We'll go through the listing and we'll chat
Yeah,
some more
it's the
about this.
worst kept. Like
Secret.
the moment they
Yeah.
announced the
It
Commodore
was-
64 collection,
Yeah,
we all
Yeah,
said
we
it.
already knew that. Yeah.
How was
Yeah.
it the next
Every
one's
one of
gonna
us
be
said.
Amiga?
Everyone
Yeah,
in
it's a-
chat said too. Amiga has to come because the same company that
Yeah.
has the rights to a bunch of those games, right? But they did mention
Sure.
something. Rich, are you going to go through the thing?
Yeah. We can go through it. Yeah.
Yeah. What the only thing I pulled out was really interesting. I don't know if you guys pulled it out too. Was the fact that they're going to have licensing right to original Amiga games, not just the Amiga 500 stuff. I think
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's do that, yeah.
In that live stream, I watched it, and he was saying that the guy was really happy. One, that everything was going to be official, because there's been a whole bunch of grayware stuff on Amiga for forever.
Yeah.
And he was, he kept hammering that point. It's like, hey, it's official stuff. We can't wait to work with them. We're going to get them all sorts of crazy stuff that you guys haven't seen in a little bit. And not to mention it, every time we're doing work with them, we're making sure that we, all those agreements are settled and legal. And it's like, that's obviously what Blaze does all the time. So, but yeah, that's really cool. It's going to be very cool to see all of the cool stuff to come out of this.
Yeah.
Um,
Huge news, dude. Huge
Yeah.
news. That's why, like for me, Amiga 500 Mini is like literally one of my favorite minis to play.
that's awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
only for one reason though, because the base games are okay that you get in it, but I've modded it now. I've got like 7,000 games on.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
But you don't even need to mod it. I mean, it's meant to you plug in.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, wrong word usage. I got the ROMs.
right.
You just plug it in and you play it. It was designed to do that.
Yeah, it was. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, you're right. Same as the C64 is designed to do that too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
So, going through this here, it says Blaze Entertainment is delighted to confirm partnership with Amiga to bring Amiga games to Evercade systems as part of the new home computer collection line. Which I think is that the first time they've mentioned home computer collection line as a official?
Yeah,
That's
I think
that's
so.
a title.
No, that I don't know if the exact wording, but we already knew it was a line because the Commodore
Oh, yeah.
64 box
But
is
no,
a different
Well,
color.
yeah, of course
I
we
think
had
you're
we,
right,
we had
right,
blue.
Rich.
We had blue, and we
Yeah.
assumed, right? But I think this might be the first time we're seeing.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure
Those
that they
capital
had
words.
mentioned it, that it was a new
Well,
line.
maybe.
And that's why it was blue.
I don't know. I think I
Yeah,
agree. I was noticing that too. Like that's the first time I've seen it in writing where they actually said it's a new line.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's again, it's part of this whole worst kept secret. We already knew, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fun. It's fun to see the thing. So, as confirmed this past weekend, exclusively to fans at the Amiga 37 event, maybe not so exclusively because it went everywhere. The Evercade devices will be able to play games developed for the world famous home computer system. They were able to license and publish Amiga games from multiple publishers for Evercade. That's also very cool. So those collections will be like multi-publisher collections, which is neat.
Yes.
At this time, there's no public confirmation of which games and publishers will be featured in Evercade's quickly expanding home computer lineup, but work is already underway to bring high-quality Amiga games to Evercade in 2023 and beyond. So, obviously that first collection is probably going to hit. If any guess, would be mid 2023. In my book, that's what I'm going to
that's
say.
the first though multi publisher for a system like that.
Yeah, I mean, because even the Link stuff was all under Songbird. So,
well, actually, technically, the Xenocrisis cart, right? That and Tanglewood are two different publishers.
True. That's
well, yeah, and they didn't actually have publishers. I don't think they were two different developers.
Yeah.
And C64, I think, is also another one that kind of breaks that mold too, right? It's not a collection of just one publisher game on C64. I'm imagining.
Yeah.
I don't think so either, but also with the Lynx ones, the reason they were uneven games on the two cartridges is because one was Songbird and another one was somebody else, and I don't remember who it was. I guess they just had to keep them separate.
Yeah, for sure. So much like other Evercade collections, game creation will occur with our licenses and publishers, meaning chosen games will be prioritized for ease of use and with a pick up and play mentality. That I know that's something that you were saying, Ed. You wanted to make sure that they were, joystick and joypad friendly. But they're they're going to do that.
Well, yeah, actually, so yes. So let me just here. Hold on, one quick second.
Yeah,
just go solo for 1 second. So this is a PSA, or Blaze, if you're watching. Please, 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 do not make the same mistake with the Intellivision 2 collection. Controls are king. I know you guys aren't going to mess it up, but don't do it. That's my pet peeve. Okay.
Wait. What's the problem with the Intellivision 2 collection?
The controls suck, like immortally. Like it's.
I'm not having any problems with it.
You would be. You would. It's a general consensus of that collection that the controls could be much better. That it's not.
Well, I was gonna say with the Amiga collection, shouldn't we get mouse support for the VS?
No, I think
because even the A500 comes with a mouse and a controller.
See, I wanted to kind of be like, like how you don't have to have the mouse at all, but you
shouldn't have to have the mouse. But if you plug it on the VS, why not? Why you should be able to plug in a mouse and use it?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is a silly prediction.
I love that.
That'd be kind of cool though.
No, oh, dude. No, what I want
to release a keyboard
is just not even pick those games, or if you have to type in a name, just bring up the virtual keyboard. Like the Intellivision 1 collection was fine. Just do it like that. That's controls. Yeah. Controls are king. I think they're going to be fine because this is huge. But here's another thing that excites me. Let's say there's an Amiga port of Berserk or something like that. I could see now this being the excuse to get those other licensed games that we had difficulty. There's an Amiga port or C64 port. Maybe now we'll get it. That would be awesome.
Yeah. I mean that would be cool. Well, Darren, yeah. What are people hoping for? We're going to get to that in a little bit, for sure, because that is definitely the next pressing topic for sure on that. Let's go into this. Key part of Evercade is the ability to allow fans to experience classic games and hidden gems with as little difficulty as possible. And Amiga games will be no different in that regard. Of course, that's going back to the whole discovery point, which is going to be awesome. And it's a staple of Blaze's stuff on the Evercade.
Dude, this will be pure discovery for me because I didn't grow up with this system, so I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. Next paragraph is just a little bit of boilerplate about Evercade, stuff that we know. It's the cartridge system. It's got 28 console-based collections, 8 arcade, and the newest home computer collections. I noticed they didn't say how many there because obviously they don't want to show hand too much. And let's see. Yeah, more boilerplate stuff. Current lineup consists two devices. Oh, sad face. They let go of the OG already in the announcement. The TV-based Evercade VS, which is currently available, the new handheld, winter 2022, the Evercade EXP. So long, OG handheld. Sorry, it's been nice knowing you. And then, as well as emulation for multiple system optimization, Evercade also publishes indie games for classic systems and various ports of indie games. That's it. And then, of course, the statement there from Andrew Byatt: home computing is something we're passionate about at Blaze Entertainment, something we're delighted to be now offering to our customers. New partnership with Amiga opens up a huge realm of gaming history and nostalgia to our products. We're excited to bring even more incredible games in the home computer space to our portfolio of licenses with the support of our new friends. So that's it. There it is. There's the announcement. Evercade cross Amiga collections coming soon to a Evercade near us. So
you know what's great about this, and I see a pattern with Blaze, which I think is great because like in the beginning, I know like a lot of us maybe didn't like, let's say like the ports for the various consoles, but they kind of did that with arcade too, right? They said we're going to put this out, we're going to get what licenses we can, and then over time we're going to evolve. You know what I mean? And so it's a good trend, and I really appreciate that. Plus, I think it's neat too to see different ports and different versions of games. So I hope that they kind of do what they did with arcade. Like maybe we'll get some of the Amiga ports of the games. Maybe we'll get Zool, but we'll get other stuff on it too. Like it won't just be a reprint. I don't think they'll do that. I think they'll put new stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Amiga is one of those computer systems that when you start talking about, all right, awesome, we're getting Amiga. What's the library look like? So just to give you a little hint, there is a site I just found, lemonamiga.com. It's a listing of all of the Amiga games there were.
Yeah, I think it's the same site that does the Commodore 64 stuff too.
Yeah, let me stop this one and let's go present on this one.
Well, you know what? Then there's the Amiga CD. Like, will we see? I saw that on like Discord. Will we see some?
That's almost exactly the same as the Amiga. It just they just slightly modified some of the games, I think.
Oh, did they pull it? Did they pull a Sega with like Sega CD and kind of do? Oh.
Kind of.
So, my friends, which one of the 4,613 possible games?
And that's
are we going to get some collections? Come on, guys.
Is that including homebrews or is that not even? Wow.
I mean, I'm sure it's including everything.
Well, I'm sure we already got some. We already got some games that were on the Genesis that people would have preferred the Amiga versions of.
Sure, of course.
Like Speedball 2 was one of them. Xenon 2, even though that wasn't even a great game, even on the Amiga. But people liked the music, the Amiga version music. So that one, there's a ton of different games. But on it, we were just talking in the chat. There's 3 pinball games that need to be on it. Because Pinball Dreams, Pinball Fantasies, and Pinball Illusions. I played Pinball Fantasies on DOS. I didn't have an Amiga back then, so that's how I played that one. But it originated on the Amiga, so that's I'd like to see that. I think one of those games is on the A500. I don't remember which one, though. I think it's Dreams.
Okay. Yeah, well, it looks like we got Pinball Dreams is listed right here. Pinball Fantasy CD32 version and a regular version. So, do you think that the emulation is there to do CD and CD32 on the Evercade?
I think, it's got to be. I think the Amiga's CD32. It's exactly the same as the Amiga. It just has a CD-ROM drive.
Yeah, it's not much more powerful at all. I don't think it is really much. It's just updated hardware a little bit.
Yeah, like
TurboGrafx. A lot of people were really lazy in porting Amiga games to Amiga 32, even though they had extra buttons, and the original Amiga controller only had one button. A lot of those games, they didn't even remap the controls, so a lot of those platforms were still
up. It was just their home console, really. The Amiga 32 CD was like a home console version of the computer line.
Yes, kind of like the Atari XEGS.
I just didn't know if there were like any exclusives that were only the CD-ROM version of the game that never had like an original release.
That's a good question. I'm not too sure, actually.
There might be, but I don't think there's very many if there are.
Yeah, I mean, so this is the land of, Rich Needs a Guide to the world of Amiga. I've never actually had an Amiga, known someone with an Amiga, or played on an Amiga. So
here's what I would do is I would go to YouTube and search for the best Amiga games. And I'm sure you'll come up with 100 videos to watch of people think are the best Amiga games. And the ones that come up again and again and again, you really know are the best of the best.
Got it. So we get all sorts of cool stuff on here. Man, look at all this. There's a game that's called Tanglewood that isn't Tanglewood. That's interesting.
Well, listen, the good thing is because obviously Amiga is a British based in the UK. Blaze is a British based company. I have confidence. Probably all Sean and Ryan and Olive and Andrew, they grew up with this, so I think they probably know. It's like no different than us like growing up with a Nintendo. What are the popular? So
Right.
otherwise, I'm like, that's a daunting task, dude. I would not. Do they have a version of Tetris? I'm sure that they've got to. Yeah, they've got to.
They wouldn't be able to release it, I don't think.
Yeah, there's Tetris here, Tetris Pro.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tetris.
You have to remember
Tetrix.
there was a lot of unlicensed versions of Tetris too. So
Yeah.
So even though Tetris was, the rights for Tetris have passed from company to company over the years. Right now, who has it right now? I don't remember now. I think it's either Electronic Arts or somebody else. But
Tetris.
Yeah,
I think you're right. I think EA has it.
But does that mean that the older versions that were published by other publishers, can those be republished? Or does EA have to say, okay, yeah, because they own the rights to those too? I don't know.
I get the impression from that posting, it seems like they own everything on Amiga. They own all the third party, first party.
Well, yeah, I mean, outside of like additional licensing, I guess, they might have the games that were developed specifically for Amiga, but then I don't think we're gonna get. So here's an example right here on the screen. I don't think we're getting Thundercats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The original TMNT is on Amiga. I don't think we're getting that either. So there's games that that you're gonna look at it and be like, oh sweet, let's get this. But then obviously you need to get a little more into the licensing depths in order to get one of those. But there's so many of these that I'm like, what's Thunderjaws? Thunderbird, Thunderboy, like all these. I'm like, what are they? Like, let's go. Let's dive in.
Yeah.
There we
I'd
go.
like to see,
the
I'd like to see Frog.
Island.
But here's the thing, real quick. I'd like to see Frogger, but then they'd have to change the theme. You know what I mean? I don't know if they could get it because of the original song, or they'd have to change it. But But these thumbnails look awesome, man. Like there's so many good things. But see, and this is why I love Evercade, because it's like, for those of you who have the mini, who want to download the 4,000 games and dive into it, I think that's awesome. But for me, that would be a daunting task. So I appreciate the curation.
Yeah, Maniac Mansion was on the Amiga, so there's that. Yeah. It was also on the Commodore 64. So,
but that relies on using a mouse, though. So I don't know how that's not going to translate.
So you could probably convert it to use the D-pad and stuff, but that's why we would also want mouse support if you play on the VS.
Yeah. I mean, those old point-and-click adventures were all on there, but of course, that would require additional licensing from now Activision. Because it doesn't Activision own Sierra now?
I don't know who owns Sierra.
I think that goes through them. So all that stuff is because it was Blizzard and Vivendi and Sierra Online. That was all a big conglomerate, and that got eaten by Activision, I think.
Well, Maniac Mansion was Lucasfilms. So who owns the Lucasfilm stuff?
Disney now, right?
Probably.
Oh yeah, so it would probably be owned by Disney.
Yep.
So we'll never see it,
but I mean, it's just all of the stuff.
Yeah. Personally, though, I don't...
Stardust Wars. That's somebody's getting sued.
Oh wow. So here's what I wouldn't mind a couple of ports, if there was a Berserker Dragonfire, but really I want this to be kind of like the Renovation or Pico collection, where there were just these gems of these games that we've never really heard of that are just fantastic. That are unique to the Amiga. And I think that's knowing Blaze, I think that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
And they'll put some for nostalgia, but
well, I don't know how many games were only on the Amiga, because a lot of the popular ones were on multiple platforms.
Sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, we even got Street Fighter's got ported there too.
The original or Street Fighter 2?
Original and Street Fighter 2, the World Warrior, both were on Amiga. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. Yes, that
But
would be.
again,
I really
you know,
don't think we're going to see Street Fighter on the Amiga on the Evercade.
no. I mean, I'm thinking no as well. But what is this? What's this crazy? This it's like the Doom guy face. The Strangers.
Now, Stormlord is a game I heard. I kept saying.
Yeah, a lot of
Street
people were
Fighter 2 is
talking about that
terrible on
too.
Amiga. And that's kind of what I'm because of the control. Yeah,
Yeah. Yep. Double Dragon 1 was on Amiga also. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we saw a lot of like classic NES games. I wouldn't be.
No, that wouldn't be the NES version. The NES version was its own thing. It would be a port of the arcade version.
Oh yeah. That's true.
So a lot of arcade games got ports to multiple consoles as well. So,
but when we were
almost
looking
any
at
arcade game on here would be a port of the arcade version.
yeah, but when we were looking at
I don't think so. Unless there was a CD version, because I think that game would have been too big with all the video clips. Jason, I don't think it did. I could be wrong, but would that say adult something? God,
if it is, it would have been some fan that.
Yeah, of course. But
oh yeah. No, yeah. There's a bunch of them that actually have that like like adult thing. I was like, oh, well, that's probably one of those, arcade ports that were, like no thanks.
Oh look, there's Megalomania.
Yeah.
Look how much better that looks than the version we got from the Genesis.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, of course.
That looks awesome.
Yeah.
Mean Streets. That looks cool. Look at all this stuff. It's just like, like again, it's a sea of discovery here, and it's almost anything that can get chosen in the first collection. Obviously people are going to be looking for their favorites from when they were kids or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, it could literally be like just put 15 games on a cart and let's go.
Well, I think this is the platform that originated Cannon Fodder and Sensible Soccer.
Yes.
You think we would see that though, like right away, and so soon after the other collections?
I mean, they've already done it. They've already done it when they were releasing the arcade collections.
I think
they were already putting out games that we had already gotten before.
Yeah.
Like now those were the arcade versions, and I could see that. So if the Amiga version is really superior to something that they've already put out, I could see them putting it out again.
Yeah, I mean, as long as there wasn't too much of that, double or triple dip, you know what I mean? As long as you don't go to that well too many times, and on one collection, I would say no more than a quarter of those games should be, repeated from a previous.
Oh,
collection.
Lemmings needs to be on there.
Oh, that's true.
If they could get those games.
No, I agree with you, Rich. I think based upon the arcade, what I think they're going to do, because based upon how small these games are, I think there's so many of them. I think we're going to get 20 on a cart, and five will be reprints. I think 5 will be reprints, and like 5 to 10 will be nostalgia, and then the other 10 will be like off the wall Evercade style.
Just random.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's how I would do it.
There's so many of these. Just like I could. We could literally spend the rest of time just going through this list and looking at these all. But it's it's so cool.
The number of games they would put on a cart would be determined by how much it would cost to license the games that they would want to put on it.
Right.
And in order to keep it the cartridge at about $20.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's why I say 20, because that's what they've done with Atari.
Wow, look at this one.
Yeah.
Land of Genesis.
Well, how many games are going to be on the Commodore 64 collection? I don't remember.
C64
16, right?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I would say would be about the same amount that would be on there.
Yeah.
I was just saying 20. Not only based upon like on Atari, but because they're going to have some repeats.
It's 14 on the C64.
Okay.
So, but still, like even that isn't bad. We could, that's like 3-3 and a whole bunch more, 4-4 and a whole bunch more. I
think they'll throw a wacky homebrew on there too.
What's funny is that we're already getting Stormlord on the Commodore 64. I just looked at the games.
Oh yeah. So,
but either way, this is huge though, because I mean, you can buy a mini console, but I mean, this is like like everything else. It's going to be plug and play. We get a real cart. So it's something that nobody else is doing in cart format.
I guess these are all random homebrews. I'm imagining.
Ooh, Legend of Zelda. Wow. Yeah. crazy.
Yeah, look at the
These-
dates. 2009.
Yeah, these are all like that's cool though.
Yeah. Like a link to the past one. Wow, crazy stuff.
Instead
Love
of
it.
looking at it in alphabetical order, we need to look at it in chronological order.
Yeah, that's true.
Too bad you can't sort by system.
Yeah. Lemmings.
Oh, Leisure Suit Larry. We should get that.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's that's Sierra Online, but yeah. Best movie get
I didn't even know that was on Amiga. Both
Was
versions, in fact. The EVGA and the VGA versions. There's two different versions. One's an updated version of the other one, and both of them Amiga. I didn't know that.
So you know what?
Yeah.
You know what Blaze could do, but by that post, I don't think they're going to do this because they want to be a plug and play. They could, since it's a blue line, they could say requires a keyboard and mouse, and just put it focused to the VS to get. But I don't think they're going to do that because I think that limits them. I don't really think we're going to see any of the point and click games because those don't even translate well like on SNES and Genesis with the when you have to move the mouse. I don't think. I could be wrong, but I don't think we'll see those games initially at least.
Bagman, that's an arcade game.
Yeah.
So here's what's funny about this, and I want to ask y'all's opinion. So since we've kind of known about this, like for me, I still think getting the Capcom collection beats. Like to me, that's like the biggest news. I think for me, I'm glad that we're getting this, but this isn't as huge. Like I'm still the most excited about.
Yeah,
the Capcom
I agree with you. I think Capcom is the game changer. I think Amiga, it's gonna live and die by its games that's on there. And I mean, the library's so big, they're like the C64 collection. No one's gonna be happy. Not 100% of everybody's gonna be happy with what's on there.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
Just the way it's.
I mean,
you have a library of 4,000 games to choose from. Yeah, there's gonna be. Oh, they picked the worst games, or some people's going to say, like, I love every game,
Yeah, I mean, I think with me, I love the fact that Capcom's there because it's the carrot, right? It's the carrot that gets you in the door. It's like, come on over here, come on over to Evercade land.
Valid, dude.
Don't you remember all this stuff? And then it's just like, boom, here's all the stuff you forgot about. It's just right away. And for me, like stuff like this announcement here. I almost feel like as a Evercade collector, I almost feel the exact opposite because I just give me all the stuff that I just don't know about. So I'm hyped on the Amiga stuff right now, a little bit more even than the Capcom stuff because it'll be great to play Street Fighter on a really awesome controller. It will.
Well, here's the thing. I'd be more excited about the Capcom collection if it was on an actual cartridge.
Yeah, I mean, if it was something you could stick in the VS, play some of those two-player games, two-player, that would be cool. Because I
could
could
make our own Capcom slipcover manual if we wanted to.
Good, but you still couldn't play it on the VS.
But see,
right.
I might maybe in a
maybe.
So listen, I may be in a small minority, and I may get a lot of hate for saying this, but I like the fact that it's built into the EXP better, actually, because sometimes I'm like, well, what game? Like, if I have a handheld, what games do I want to bring with me? Those games will always be with you. So I can just, I'm gonna have that. I'm gonna have the IRM collection, and I'm gonna play that in R-Type, and like for me, I like that it's always there because it's such a solid. Because
Or you could always just bring the cartridge with you.
But that takes up a slot though, and then when you're bringing, you know what I mean? Or for me, maybe it's just laziness. Like you're sitting on the couch, I don't want to have to go to my book, and you know what I mean? It's a huge convenience because for me, like Namco, Capcom, Konami, and like SNK, those are the big four that I think from our childhoods. And Midway. Sorry, the big five. Like those are the big five that people love from our childhoods, and that are always good and so nostalgic to everybody. And I guess Williams and Midway are kind of the same, So I think if you have any of those collections, it's gonna be huge.
Pirates.
People are gonna love it.
Pirates would be a one that was pretty popular.
Yeah, but this will be good though. I feel you, Rich. Like the Discovery, it'll get me back into that Evercadian kind of mindset and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's just because I'm unfamiliar. Because like I'm unfamiliar and I don't know. It's not, but I kind of look at it this way, like on the Namco collection, like Warpman, like I never knew about it, and then I got excited and I loved it. I think it's going to be like a collection full of Warpmans.
I mean, it'd be kind of cool. I mean, Warpman was great, so like I would take a collection of just crazy awesome games that you never heard of.
But I think,
Yeah.
though, by nostalgia law,
Arcade
Blaze,
version. That's
Blaze is going to have to put some classics. Otherwise, I think people will be like, "Why the hell did?" And I don't blame them too. It'd be like a Namco collection coming out with all these obscure titles. There'll be some classics there. There will
Yeah,
be.
for sure.
Ooh, they have a version of Marble Madness.
Yeah,
Dude,
Guaranteed there'll be a
Once you
soccer
just
game.
want the
but it's the arcade version. Yeah,
I
But the
guarantee
controls are
there'll
for
be
a
soccer
D-pad,
game.
though. I mean, it would be like a better graphic version of the Nintendo. That
Why
would
don't
be
you
awesome.
just want the arcade version though in an arcade collection?
Because you need a trackball.
Yeah, but again, they ported it to the Amiga. Amiga doesn't have a trackball, and so they converted it to a D-pad.
But
They already did that with a lot of the games on the Atari collection that use a trackball or a spinner.
right.
Yeah, but they don't
right.
play as good. That's what I mean, though. But they don't play as good.
But that's the thing is that wouldn't play as good with a joystick regardless.
The Nintendo version was solid, though. Actually, I
Marble
never.
Madness is a little different because I mean, well, it translates very well to a controller.
Yeah. The NES version was pretty good.
I played the Commodore 64 version. Yeah, so.
Yeah. Or just like the 7800 version of Centipede is solid because of the controls. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, still, I'd say that it's way better still with a trackball when you're talking centipede, millipede.
Hmm.
You need a little bit more precision than you would with like something like Marble Madness.
Cool. See, Douglas gets it.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. So, but yeah, it's it's all good stuff, and I can't wait to, dive in more and actually see what happens. So then here's the other bit of speculation. So, do we want to make a little prediction? Like when does the collection get announced? What do you think?
Well, how many more releases are coming out this year? They've announced nothing
Heroes
for next
2.
year.
That's it.
Yeah, Indie Heroes 2 is the only one that has been announced and then actually has not had a release date yet.
Okay, Rich, I've got a prediction. I know what they're gonna do because Indie Heroes is gonna run out in December. I think I could easily if they don't do this with Indie Heroes 2, I could see this being the new game of the month, and I could see them announcing that starting in to raising in January, game of the month is going to be Amiga games. And maybe that'll come out like mid next year. I think they're going to build to it.
It's an interesting call. Like, well, if I was gonna, if you were gonna do that though, and then have the collection, you just have that be all year long, then, right?
No, yeah, that's true.
I
don't think they want to delay it that much. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you never know. That's actually a good idea though, because you can kind of like build the hype of the new line by instituting Game of the Month to introduce it.
That's what I think. Game of the Month is
not a bad
gonna
idea.
I think it's going to be a preview, like games like I think what they're going to start to do is the next generation of games. They're going to give a preview, and you'll be able to play like a couple of games off. I don't know, just pure speculation, but see, here's the great thing about this collection, though, Rich, is that like me and people who didn't grow up with the Amiga, we don't know what we're missing, so we're going to enjoy whatever.
Right. Absolutely. 100%.
Whatever's out there.
I think because in the wake of the announcement, the blog post just says that, hey, we're announcing that we have a partnership. I think that indicates to me that this is Q2 or later for sure for this cart. Because, why wouldn't you then just announce, if you announced that the partnership was there and you already had some stuff lined up, why wouldn't you just follow it up with the cart announcement? The other thing too, though, is you mentioned that is, oh yeah, we're going to get Indie Heroes in December, but are we? It's weird to not have the official announcement or the pre-order date for Indie Heroes. It's kind of weird.
Well, here's how I look at it. Indie Heroes is kind of like the extra bonus card to fit in there. Because both Sean and Ryan have said as much, like many times on the Discord, they're just focused on the EXP, and that's their main goal: get the EXP, get the firmware out, get the day one update. I agree with you, Rich.
Do you think that means that maybe it slips? Does Indie Heroes slip into 2023? We get our Game of the Months to end out the month or to end out the year, and then they Q1 the actual collection.
I think you're onto something, Rich, because usually there's nothing in January. Actually, I would almost prefer that.
I've been saying that. I did a freaking video that they should delay it. When has the company ever been quiet and release stuff?
Well, so Pete, would you wait? Would you wait for Q1 for Indie Heroes?
I think they should have delayed a bunch of the carts until January, February, March. It's nothing worse than having 3 months and nothing to do.
That's
So,
very
There's
true.
plenty
I
of
mean,
them.
I
Tons of other collections.
You,
to
Mr.
play.
Steam
well,
Deck.
yeah, but not everybody's you, Crow.
yeah, not everyone is going through every single
Yeah.
game on every single collection
But you
Yeah.
should.
and making videos on it.
And mark my words,
I
play.
agree with that. I think everyone should actually play every game on every collection, but
Oh, I do, but
Oh, dude,
maybe
that
And
would
if
be
there's
painful.
got to be games
eventually.
you really like on it. So if you
Yeah.
really Evercade, play the games you really like on it.
listen,
Cool.
there's some games like the Gremlin Collection. I've literally not touched it since I did my first, impressions.
I mean, I will tell you this: if there is a lull again in Q1 this year where we're not getting anything, I will go back, and that will be the 3 month time. I will do Brave Battle at that point. I'll do Canon at that point. I'll just go back and play those RPGs.
And I'm almost thinking there might not be, because I was going back and looking at the first releases of this year were Renovation and Gremlin. Those were released in March. The Renovation Collection was actually announced in July of the previous year.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So we're well past July now. So
Yeah.
if they were to announce something, would it be different where it's going to come out sooner rather than later, or
They
Yeah,
pretty much guarantee it's going to get pushed. They're just waiting to tell us.
I kind of
Yeah.
hope they do.
and it's fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's. I mean, I'm not gonna. There's no pitchforks coming from me. It's like I'll give
No,
my
me
idea.
neither. I recommended that they delay more than that, to be honest with you. But
Yeah, just that one.
And just as
I
long
would
as
delay
like,
Toplin and Iron.
is it fine that they delay it just as long as they actually have something for January or February? I mean, I'm okay with January being an open month.
yeah,
But
I just
give
want
me
to make
something
sure
in February.
they keep game in a month. They need to keep that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Game of the month is an awesome feature, and they should definitely do that.
they
And
can
that's
still
what I'm saying,
do
I
game
think-
of the month on games that have already been released too.
That's
they
true.
could. They could do
That is
whatever
true.
they want with it.
And
Yeah.
don't forget, we still are waiting for like with the new firmware update for like those exclusive like secret games on the EXP and probably also on the VS. And
I wonder when the final firmware is coming out for the OG stuff. That after that firmware, nothing else will be updated on the OG.
Well, maybe that's December, right?
yeah,
The send off is December.
I thought they said by the end of this year.
Yeah, I think they alluded to it. You know, I don't know if there was anything confirmed, but I mean that would make sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like get the EXP out. That's a big splash in November. You got IREM and Toplan.
Yeah.
You know, and in the very beginning next week, we're going to be looking at, well, not next week, but the week after, we're going to be looking at C64 and Cathedral and everything. So you get all that stuff in one big giant November, and then December, you know, like right towards the end of the year, you know, tip the hat to the old OG, and then we're good.
I
Start the new
agree
year
with
fresh.
Douglas on that. Yeah. Then we'll have our EXP in our hands playing like Street Fighter and stuff like
5
that. whatever.
carts in 2 months is stupid, if you ask me. Like, I think that's what I said all along. It's stupid to get we'll get 5 carts right now in plan plus the Capcom collection. It's like
That's 6. That's a lot. It's overload. Yeah.
Here's
way
the problem.
overload.
I didn't mind the 2 carts every 2. But when there's delays, like when you add on a week or month, then it's
Well,
you know what I mean. When you add delays, then it's
Well, and
you know,
you can't anticipate exactly what's going to happen with those delays too. So
Yeah.
we are going to get a little bit of the fire hose at the end of the year, but you know,
Yeah,
again,
it's like
I get
why
why
not
they did
spread
it,
them
though.
out and get people talking about their console 12 months a year instead of 3 months a year and nobody's talking about the Evercade because there's no new product in the marketplace.
That's
They could
true.
have
Yeah.
that. It's just like, for me, I don't understand that decision. If you got carts in hand, delay them. Like, have 2 come in January, 1 in February, and in March, and then people are talking about your console 12 months a year. Follow
Yeah.
the NFL strategy.
Yeah.
They turned their product into a 12-month a year like business. Like,
That is
Do you
kind of true.
remember the Evercade VS Founders Edition came with 6 games, 6
Yeah.
cartridges.
yeah,
Yes.
it's
I-
like, you know.
I love that. That was
And
over.
then you go 3 months with, like, us, we're always
Yeah.
talking about it, but we're
Right.
not the people that need to grow the business for them.
Right.
It's
Right.
like every time, like the Metal Jesuses and the big YouTube channels and websites, oh, there's a new cart for Evercade. They pick it up. It goes into their news cycle, right? And
Yep.
Yeah.
for 3 months, there's nothing. It's like, I want the product to be successful. I
Well-
said it from day one.
That's true.
Like, if we're
They are
responsible for growing the community and growing this like company awareness, wow, that is bad.
Yeah, I mean we've got our niche, and we love our little community here. But yeah, I mean,
But here's
Yeah,
the
well,
trade-off. here's the trade-off though. So here's how I kind of look. I think around like December, because you got to imagine like Ryan and Sean, like by the end of they're burnt out. They want to take vacation, and I think that's why there's not much going on in January. So that's kind of the trade-off, is they do get laid. They're laid back, but I think we should have something starting January. Like I was kind of bummed when the release cycle next year didn't start for January.
Right.
But I mean, like once they have them, they can just stock up on them, and they're not distributing. They're just around to see if anything goes wrong with the carts when they're out in the marketplace. I just think they need to release every month, or have something in the news cycle every month.
Yes,
I think that'd be a good idea to maybe end the year with, like why don't they end the year with the New Year's plan, right? Like everyone loves when the release
roadmap?
calendar, the roadmap comes out. And you don't even have to fill it out, right?
Yeah.
So
don't even release anything in November. Release the roadmap. Great. We got something to talk about. We got the EXP. We got a bunch of collections. Then, January, guess what? You're getting the Teo Plan collection. February, you're getting the Indie Heroes collection. I'm just throwing that out there. But
sure.
And then March is when they're, the new year starts, right? Like
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's
well, see, here's what I kind of thought they were going to do more with Game of the Month, or maybe they will. Like, it's great just having like one Indie Heroes, but I kind of thought like maybe while you're waiting for the next collection, pick like 3 games. You know what I mean? Like pick like more than just one game. Pick like 2 or 3 games, not to spoil the whole collection, but just something to. I thought they were going to do more with the Game of the Month.
Yeah, I think Jason says ZX Spectrum next year.
Yeah,
I think that's logically where they're going to go next.
Yeah. I would agree.
I mean, those games.
That would make a friend of ours happy. That's for sure. TJ Ferreira would be all about that.
I mean, it's the Spectrum is like
go.
nostalgia in that. But those games,
Dan's
like
got
if you put Amiga games out and then you go next to Spectrum, there's a big drop in fidelity of those games.
Yeah.
Thank you. See, that's what I thought Blaze was going to do initially. That's why we got 6 carts when we had to like wait even. We had to wait longer. Yeah, follow that schedule. That would be good.
Yeah, that's not bad either. Yeah. 2 months, you got a month of cart. Then why not?
I get what I get why they're doing the 2 carts, because they're doing it, just not only to save on shipping, but they're also getting people to buy more, because like when I first got into Evercade, there were some carts that I did skip until I was forced to get like 2 of them, because I think to like order from Fun Stock and you know what I mean? So I get why they're doing that.
Yeah, and it is. I actually think it's still in the value proposition is right there too. It's like, like where else can you collect for a system where when they release 2 games, you can buy 2 games, it's still less than 1 on any other system. Yeah. Just any other system. It's just like, it's not bad.
Yeah, and with like FOMO and all that, they're like, well, if you can spend $20 on one, you can buy it. You can buy it. So I get, I kind of get why they're doing that. But yeah, I agree with everyone. Like the release cycle, they need to be consistent. They need to be like consistent with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you know what? Maybe Blaze, actually to what you're saying, Pete, that's maybe they're at a point where maybe now they can print up and have cartridges handy and kind of get that. And maybe that's what they're starting to do, right? Because I guess the danger is that they don't want to have like too many copies of like a Gremlin collection and have them be sitting there and have them like lose money on. Mm-hmm. I know I keep knocking Gremlin, but dude, that was just. I don't know. For me, that was extra weird because I, of like the 2 carts when I got that Renovation, like Renovation happened to be the one that I had the issue with. Like, why couldn't it have been the other way?
Yeah. So.
That's my favorite collection, but whatever.
Oh, the Gremlin collection.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, but we were hard on it last week, and people were like, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, I think
poor Zool.
There's a good game, at least one good game on every collection, for me. Like there's at least one.
Yeah.
Even the Interplay collection, Boogerman, right? There's a good game on each one.
Well, there was that
Prehistoric Man. Actually,
Interplay 1 had the Brainies, right?
Yeah.
And I love that game. That's an awesome puzzle game. It's a really good, it was a really good game. And then I forget what it was on the Interplay 2, but it was another weird one.
What do you not like on Gremlins? Gremlins is awesome, man.
I mean, I like Zool. Zool's all right. I'll rock some of that.
Yeah, man, put your managers on it. It's awesome.
The Gremlin collection is a lot of those games would have been better if they were the Amiga versions, because a lot of those games were on the Amiga.
Actua Soccer, fantastic game.
Soccer isn't that bad.
It was Gremlin and Renovation, wasn't it?
It was all right. Mm.
There's a big problem with the camera in Actua Soccer. That's where the issue is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no doubt. I mean, hey, come on. These aren't new games. There's a problem. All these retro games had
Yeah, they
problems.
hadn't quite figured out what to do with the camera, so they
Yeah.
they tried to solve it by giving you 100 different camera angles. The problem is that you have to cycle through them all.
No, but Electro Soccer was it was like I kind of felt like one of the first sports games that were like gonna give you that arcade feel. Because for me, when I play like sports games, I don't want them to be realistic. They need to be arcade.
I like both. I like both for me. It's like it depends, right? What like NBA Jam is awesome.
Yes.
But I do like the NBA live games from that era too.
Ooh.
So
I guess the chat's reading our mind. They know like around this time, to ask like questions.
if you
This
ever
is a
could
good
get
one. If you
one
could get
arcade
any-
game that you wanted, what would the Evercast want? Oh man, if you guys don't know the answer for me already, and I don't know, then you guys haven't been watching our Evercast. It's an Atari game, so like they could do it tomorrow, and I would be very happy. But I just don't know if that'll ever happen.
Mine's pretty easy.
Does anyone know? Does anyone just want to say?
I was going to say hard drive. That wouldn't try Space
Yeah,
Invaders.
yeah. No, hard driving. That's
Hard driving?
it. That's the one.
Okay, that's why I was
That's
like,
the-
arcade, I'm like,
it's an
yeah.
Atari game, and it would completely function on the Evercade.
Yeah,
If
that's
there was
the
a way to
problem.
translate the controls and put that on a Atari Arcade 2, and then have that, just put the
You ever play
car-
the
car
the
going over the ramp on the cover.
You ever
Happy
played a
is happy.
sit-down arcade version of that, where you've got to adjust the seat, you've got to turn the key, you've got
Yes, yeah. That's why Hard Driving is my favorite. It's my favorite arcade game of all time because I learned how to drive on that cabinet in a sit-down cabinet. No joke. I learned how to drive stick on the cabinet.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I
love
that
that game.
Well, yeah, that's the reason. Yeah, I know. I figured yours would be hard drive, but so for me, like, and I know this would translate like totally perfectly. Like, just give me the arcade version of Robotron, because that would we know the twin stick shooters with the way the button set up, like something like that. But that
Well, what
one game
about-
is tough, but I would really like that.
What about race driving?
I think that too. Race driving has the different tracks. It's got a standard oval, and it has like the adventure track where you go like up on a mountain or something like that. That one's pretty cool. And then they have the same stunt track as Hard Driving. Hard Driving only has the one track with two different modes that you could do. You could do the speed one or the stunt one.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's right. You did send him the copy.
I did, yeah.
But yeah, that's what I figured that would be your game.
Yep, 100%.
If they could get the controls translated, but that's why I was
Mine
like,
would be Shadow of Mystara, Dungeons and Dragons.
Nice.
There's two of them. That would be the ones I've always wanted. And I believe Capcom owns that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
yeah.
I saw another Amiga game I want to see. 4D Sports Driving. I used to have that on DOS under the name Stunts.
I love Stunts. Yes. Oh my god.
That is cool.
Stunts was revolutionary. You can make your own tracks and all that. Yeah.
I think it originated on the Amiga though. But it was called 4D Sports Driving.
4D sports driving, huh?
Yeah.
Here I still got the list up over here.
Ooh.
Let's see if there's 4D.
Ridge Racer. Yeah. See, that would
Well,
be.
that's I'm on the
cool.
site looking. And I typed in stunts and 4D Sports came up.
Oh yeah. It actually looks like hard driving. It's got all those blocky.
It kind of is a little bit, but you are racing against head to head against like other rivals.
Oh, nice.
See, it's tough that somebody said one game, because if they said like what one collection would you want, like that would have been easier.
Yeah, I mean, I have another game that I would do, but that's like logistically, control wise, it would just never work, and that's Sega's Star Wars Arcade Trilogy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it would never work. But
Yeah.
oh my goodness,
You're
Oh, it's
talking
funny
about
that
I love that game
licensing.
so much.
Yeah, I know.
you're talking
I
about
mean,
the one from,
everything.
like, the mid '90s one, or the
Yeah,
late 90s
the one
Okay.
that has the
I had
the
just-
flight,
that
the
just had
flight
the joystick.
controller. Yeah, and then the two big buttons, so you could do your special event ones.
I preferred the pod racing one.
The pod racer is cool.
What would be everyone's one collection? If like Blaze came to you and said, "Hey, we can make this a reality," what would be the one that you guys would want?
Activision 2600 collection.
Yep, with Pete, 100%. Give it to me, because then I had the definitive, and it would just you could do it in 2 collections for me. That's 2 because there's a 40-something games, but I want them all. If you're gonna get the license, just get them all and let's go. And 2 collections, get all of them out, and then do it. Have the definitive.
I've got to say, I've got to peace out. I've got to go. I've got a big day planned with the.
That's what I would. Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say.
Okay, bye everybody. I'll talk to you next week.
SNK for life.
Bye. Sorry, I better run.
Bye.
See you, Pete.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, Pete's out. And that's Ed out too.
Yeah, he left too. He's
all
like,
right,
okay,
cool. Well, I think that just about, I guess, does it then. I mean, we'll
because I'm going to the pinball expo, so I should probably go to.
Well, there you go. All right, you're gonna have some like cool stuff on the channel though about the pinball expo.
Well, at least the video walking around. I don't really
Nice.
plan on ever buying anything.
That's cool.
But who knows? Maybe I'll win a pinball machine. Never do, but
Nice.
never know either.
Nice, awesome. Well, hope you have fun over there, and we'll talk about that some more. Hope everyone else has a great, fantastic weekend. And yeah, I know. Thanks, Dan. That was good. Good call out right there. Yes, we will get back to renovation next week.
we almost got back to it because last week we talked about it after a hiatus from it for like 3 months.
That is true. That's classic, though. That's a great way to end it.
And even then, we didn't even talk about the games we were going to talk about because Ed insisted on talking about the other games.
Phallus, yeah. Oh my goodness! All right. So
after you downloaded that 9-hour video too.
It did. Yes, you're right. That's on us right there. But we'll promise next week we'll get in there.
Well, the problem is that instead of just announcing the Amiga stuff, you went to the look at the list of Amiga games.
That's true, and that's I knew it was. I knew that I was going to do us in, but that's fine. It's all good. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for watching. Check us out, of course, next week, and over here on the channel. I don't know. I mean, I don't have a laptop, so I don't know. I don't know what's happening. So we'll see. We'll see you guys later, though. All right. See ya.
Goodbye.